Hey there, pirates. Welcome aboard the Anime No Me channel. Luffy is finally going to reunite with his father, Dragon, and now everything changes because he's going to find out the real reason he was abandoned, and I'm going to reveal it to you right now. I hope for your support to help our crew win, and to do so, you just need to click the thumbs up button, leave a like, and subscribe to the channel. By doing this, you will win an incredible devil fruit, so just comment which fruit you want. Guys, enough with the nonsense like Dragon is a bad father, or Dragon just didn't show up because he couldn't. The most wanted man in the world, leader of the Revolutionary Army, the guy the entire Navy dreams of mounting his head on a wall, had a child in the East Blue, and instead of raising the baby himself, he left him with Garp and vanished over the horizon. We always thought it was cold-heartedness, or some secret plan or whatever, but the more the manga progresses, the more obvious it becomes that the only explanation that fits everything is the simplest and the most painful. Dragon abandoned Luffy to protect Luffy. Let's line up the pieces Oda has already scattered. First, Dragon already knew exactly who he was when Luffy was born. He knew he carried the D. Bloodline knew he was Garp's son, the Navy's greatest monster, knew his very existence was a ticking time bomb. Having a child meant giving the world government the perfect target, a defenseless kid they could use to blackmail, capture, or simply eliminate to cut the D. Lineage at the root, Dragon had already seen things like that happen before. He himself lost his mother long ago and probably lost friends, comrades, maybe even Luffy's mother, the one we've never seen. He wasn't going to repeat the same mistake. Second, the place he chose wasn't random. Fuchsia Village, East Blue. The end of the world, the calmest village where even pirates are too lazy to show up. And who did he leave as the guardian? Garp, the grandfather, the Navy hero, the one man on the planet the government trusts blindly, and who at the same time would never betray his own blood. Dragon knew that if Luffy stayed with him, sooner or later the Navy would find out, invade, and the boy would become a bargaining chip or a corpse before he even learned to walk. With Garp, the kid grew up free, hidden in plain sight, protected by the uniform Dragon himself rejected. Third, Dragon never lost sight of Luffy. We thought he only showed up in Logtown by coincidence. But think about it. The most wanted man in the world risks everything to be there on the exact day of Roger's execution, in the exact city where his 7-year-old son happens to be wandering around. He saves Luffy from Smoker, looks at him with eyes that aren't the eyes of a stranger, and disappears again. Later, in Water 7, when the whole crew is being hunted, who suddenly shows up to open a path? The revolutionaries. In Baltigo, when Luffy becomes famous, who is watching everything from afar? Dragon, scowling as he sees his son become a supernova. He was never absent. He was hidden. Fourth, Garp himself basically confirms it in his own twisted way. When he meets Luffy in Water 7, he drops the bomb. Your father is the leader of the revolutionaries. And Luffy reacts with a who? Garp laughs, but it's a bitter laugh. He knows the reason. He knows Dragon made the hardest decision of his life, giving up raising his own son to ensure the boy could live. Fifth, the pattern repeats with Sabo. Dragon takes Sabo in, trains him, makes him his number 2, but never lets the boy get too close to Luffy until it's absolutely necessary. Why? Because the more people knew that Monkey D. Luffy was the son of Monkey D. Dragon, the faster the Navy would turn the boy into a top priority target. Dragon preferred the world to believe Luffy was just a crazy pirate from the East Blue instead of the direct heir to the government's greatest threat. Sixth, the final proof is what's happening now. The whole world heard Vegapunk talk about the D, about Joy Boy, about the Sun God Fruit. The government is in panic if right this moment they found out that the bearer of Nika is the son of the revolutionary leader. A buster call would look like child's play. Dragon knows that. That's why he never showed up, never sent a letter, never gave a hug. Every second beside Luffy would have been an extra second of mortal danger for the boy. So the abandonment was never abandonment. It was a shield. Dragon gave up the right to be a father so Luffy could have the right to be a child, to be a pirate, to be free, and he saved their reunion for the day when his son no longer needed protection, but an ally. The meeting won't be announced. There won't be fanfare. No letter, no Den Mushi saying, "I'm here." It will happen in the middle of chaos. Like everything in Luffy's life, probably right after Elbaf or at the start of the final war, when the sky is cracking, the sea rising, and the world government throwing everything it has at the Grand Fleet. The Thousand Sunny will be surrounded. Luffy in Gear 5th at his limit, the crew bleeding, and suddenly a full fleet of revolutionary ships will appear out of the fog like ghosts, clearing a path with cannons no one even knew existed. Dragon will step off the main ship with no cloak, no hood, his full face visible for the first time. Red tattoo glowing, hair blown wild by the wind, scars Luffy has never seen. And Luffy, sweaty, white-haired, red-eyed as Nika, will freeze mid-punch, right before hitting a Gorosei and stare at that tall man as if he were a stranger, until the stranger speaks. You've grown, Luffy. 3 words. That's it. But the voice is deep, calm, and carries a hint of pride Luffy has only ever heard from Shanks. Gear 5th shuts off by itself. His smile disappears for half a second because Luffy isn't dumb. He connects the dots instantly. Logtown, the gust of wind that saved him from Smoker, Water 7, Baltigo, Garp saying, "Your father's a revolutionary." Sabo calling him cheat with too much respect. Everything collapses into place at once. Luffy's first instinct is to laugh because that's what he does when he doesn't know how to feel. She. So you're the guy who never showed up, huh? But the laugh comes out quieter than usual. And Dragon doesn't laugh with him. He only lowers his head a single centimeter, just enough to show he understands the weight of that sentence. And he answers, voice firm, but trembling at the edges. "I couldn't show up. If I did, you would have died before you turned 10. Silence. The whole crew freezes. Zoro tightens his sword grip. Sanji puts out his cigarette on his own finger. Nami covers her mouth. Even Frankie turns off the sound effect for his pose, because everyone knows Luffy hates excuses, hates long explanations, hates drama, but this time he doesn't interrupt. He listens, because something in that man's voice makes his chest hurt in a way not even Kaido's punch ever did. Dragon continues without looking away. "I saw you in Logtown. I saw you put on the hat and promise to become the Pirate King. I saw you in Eni's lobby, burn the government's flag. I saw you in Marineford carry Ace's body. I saw everything. And every time I wanted to run to you and hug you, I remembered that if I did, the Navy would hunt you the same way they hunt me. So I stayed away, so you could grow up free." Luffy looks down. The straw hat covers his eyes, his fist clenches. And then comes the question he's never asked anyone. Not even Garp. "Are you proud of me?" 4 words. Just 4. But they come out hoarse, almost broken. Because Luffy has never needed anyone's approval. But suddenly, he needs it from the father he never had. Dragon steps forward once. The wind stops, the sea stops, even Gear 5th seems to wait. And the most wanted man in the world answers with the softest voice he has ever used. "You're the sun I always knew would rise." And then Luffy does what no one expects. He doesn't laugh, he doesn't shout, he doesn't punch the air. He simply walks the 10 meters that separate them and hugs his father. Hugs him tight, like he hugged Ace in Marineford, like he hugged Sabo in Dressrosa. A hug carrying 25 years of absence, of questions, of longing he didn't even know he had. Dragon freezes for half a second because he's never been hugged in his life, and then he returns it with both arms, holding as if he's holding the entire world. And they stay like that in the middle of the war, while cannons fire, while Zoro cuts down ships, while Sabo cries, watching from afar. When they let go, Luffy wipes his nose on his sleeve, smiles the truest smile he's ever given, and says, "You're my dad, right? So come with me. Let's take these guys down together. After that, we'll eat meat, and you can tell me everything." Dragon laughs. For the first time ever, we see the man truly laugh, and he answers, "I don't deserve to be on your ship, but I'll fight by your side until the end." And Luffy, with his hat steady and his eyes shining again, "You've been part of my crew since the day you let me grow up free. Now it's just official." And just like that, without speeches, without exaggerated tears, without cheap drama, father and son enter the war side by side. One with the sun at his back, the other with the revolution in his chest. 2 Monkey D's finally together. Not to fix the past, but to finish the future. The world trembles, because when the sun and the wind fight together, there's no Navy, no Gorosei, no Emu who can stand in their way. That was today's content. We hope you liked it and want to share your opinion on the subject. Don't forget to share the video, give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care and stay amazing.